why. It doesn't want to come up. We're live. Yay. Facebook did it. I don't know what the pause was today. Welcome in. Come on in, you guys. Welcome to the show. All right, jump on in. Let me know if you're on the replay on Facebook. I've already said it on Instagram and TikTok. But let me know if you're on the replay and where you're coming in from today. This is the conversation today. Why nobody told you that it was insulin resistance and how to catch it before it catches you. So you might even have somebody in your world that you know that needs to have, like, maybe they've been trying to like put their finger on something. They've been trying to figure out like, you know, maybe it's this, maybe it's not. They're not really quite sure. This is maybe the one to share with them, okay? Or maybe they just got diagnosed with something and they're like, oh God, I don't want like meds to be a part of my future or whatever it is. So there you go. Deborah, good morning. 40-degree Florida panhandle. Isn't that something? You guys got it dipped down, didn't it? Wow. All the way from Canada and below. Susan, good morning. Brenda, good to see you, Brenda. In the house. That is wonderful. Okay, very, very good. Good morning, Lee. Good morning, Jan. Good to see you. Hey, Jan, will I see you this weekend for the in-person holiday event? So if you are local, if you are in Minnesota, just to let you know, I'm doing, this is our third annual Cocoa and shopping. It's a cozy Christmas market that we put together, and it is in Maple Grove in the a suburb of Minneapolis. If you're local, will you reach out to me? I'd love to meet you and hug your neck. And I know that when I say this and then like people like show up. So it gets me very excited to meet you guys. And I know, Deborah, that's just nuts. Snow flurries in Long Island, Susan says. Here we go. Winter. You guys, we're just going to hang out together. We're just going to like lock arms and we're going to make it through the winter together. That's what we're going to do. So good morning, Magda. Good to see you. I missed your birthday. Magda's birthday was on Saturday. All right, so let's just dive into this. And again, if you need to share this with anybody, please do. Because this is probably one of the most foundational conversations that we can have on insulin resistance. And yet it is, I feel like, one of the most important. Like, there are a lot of things that are peripheral and whatnot, but if you can nail the actual understanding from the beginning, it will change the way you view everything. It will change the way, like then when we do these 5-day challenges, you know, inside of the group, the Facebook group. And we've done those like 30 times now, 30 months in a row. But when you have the why, when you have the how behind what's going on, you are more likely to go, oh, that makes sense. Therefore, I will. And then you like fill in the blank for yourself. You take action in a different way. And that's kind of how that goes. So here we go. Jump on in, you guys. Here we go. Should have positioned that. So you've been told your labs look fine, maybe, or this is maybe in the past and you remember that this is what happened. You've been told that you're just getting older, that it's probably hormones or stress, which that is true, but that's not the point. But what if the truth is that your body's been showing signs of insulin resistance for years and no one ever told you what to look for? So we're going to be kind of specific today and how you can do your own like self-assessment and a little bit of advocacy for yourself. Because remember, this is not a terminal diagnosis. So this isn't scary, people. This is just like you enter the land and you look around and you go, oh, I so don't want to be here, and you want to back out of the land, right? It's not the promised land. Let me tell you that right now. I want to have the conversation that the medical system should have had with you 5 or 10 years ago. That's the conversation that I want to have with you. So insulin resistance doesn't have a billing code. And this is where we get messed up, you guys. It doesn't have a billing code. It's not something that you are treated for. Usually, we're kind of changing the title a little bit because you are asking better questions. You're going in there and you're like, I'd like a fasting insulin test, please. I actually want to know the precursor to the precursor before I have to do this, and this. Like, you guys are pushing on it, right? But it's something that you're not treated for until it turns into something else. This is why you never hear about it. This is why they don't come to you and say these things to you, okay? So Maybe it's prediabetes that you finally get diagnosed with, type 2, fatty liver, PCOS, right? Because you're fine until all of a sudden, oh, we've got something we can code. Is that making sense? All right. So doctors aren't trained to detect it early. They're trained to manage it later. This is why it's frustrating, and I'm so with you. I'm so with you. So the medical model is built on crisis care, not prevention. We all know that. If you are on my content, you already know that's 100% true. But what can we do about it? I have a hair that's being super weird right here. Look at this. Hold on, I got to fix my hair. I can see it. There we go. It's like sticking out. That was really funny. It's a good thing that I have different platforms. I can kind of see it different directions. I'm like, what's happening? Okay. So fasting glucose, A1C, cholesterol, or lagging, they are lagging indications. They are not leading indications. They're lagging. So they're lagging behind, right? They rise after years of insulin resistance in your body. So those happen, but they happen as a result of, and they happen a little later on. So that's why you're like, all of a sudden, something rose, right? So insulin levels actually can be high. You have to hear me on this. Like, if this is all you get out of this, and then you maybe pass on this little piece of information, this would be so helpful to your friends, to your family. Insulin levels can be high for 10 to 15 years before your blood sugar ever moves. That's a really long time to have insulin levels that are high, and they could have been an indicator for you a long time ago. I feel like that's probably what is the most frustrating for us, because instead we only hear everything is fine, everything is fine, everything is fine. And then all of a sudden, all of a sudden, and it's not all of a sudden. It's been 10 to 15 years in the making. So crisis care versus prevention care, right? So when the doctor says you're fine, what they mean is you're not diabetic yet. That's what they mean. You're not diabetic yet. Okay. And that's the gap where millions of women are living, struggling, gaining weight, exhausted, inflamed, but undiagnosed. Frustrating. Okay, so the early red flags that nobody's usually paying attention to, let's go over them. And then maybe you can commit some of them to memory. Maybe you share out the content. Maybe you share with a friend over Thanksgiving. Don't do that. Don't do that. Pick a coffee date. We're not going to ruin anybody's holidays. Hold on. I want to see who's talking to me. Good morning, Jody. Good to see you. Good morning, Karen. Good morning, Sue. The gang's all here. Okay, here we go. Number one, midday crashes or food noise. Food noise is actually an indicator of insulin resistance, where you're thinking about food all the time. Okay. Your blood sugar is swinging, but your labs are still normal. You have those midday crashes and that food noise. Number two, increased belly fat or tight waistbands. Okay. So your waistband is like, right? Insulin is locking fat storage, especially around the liver. So the liver is right up underneath your right breast, right there. Your liver's up in there. So this is where the fat's getting locked in, right? Number three, puffy face or swollen fingers. We've talked about that before. Water retention is happening from insulin-driven inflammation. Insulin is highly inflammatory when you have too much of it in your body. And so even for people who are, you're taking shots and whatnot, and again, I'm not a doctor. Okay. I'm just your friend. It's still inflammatory, and you're wanting to decrease that, right? As much as you can. Obviously you do that with your doctor. But I'll repeat that one: puffy face or swollen fingers. So if you wake up and you've got really puffy under eyes, okay, you're puffy, your swollen fingers, you can't get your rings off. You're like, I can't do that, whatever. Water retention from insulin-driven inflammation. That's what that is. Number four, 3 a.m. wake-ups. You're waking up in the middle of the night. Your liver is actually releasing glucose because insulin isn't regulating it every night. It's not regulating it at night like it's supposed to. So Your liver's releasing glucose into your bloodstream because insulin isn't regulating your energy at night. Cravings, irritability, and brain fog. That's number 5. Brain cells aren't getting enough fuel efficiently. Remember the other day we talked about insulin resistance and dementia and the whole conversation about my mom. She didn't have type 2 in her family, but she ended up type 2 because she was married to an Italian and she lived the type 2 life. She followed the how to get type 2 diabetes formula. And then she ended up with it. And then brain, right? Because let's just repeat that once again. Brain cells aren't getting fuel efficiently when you are insulin resistant. Okay? So this is a big reason for you to pay attention now because your future self will thank you. And remember the other day we talked about the fact that like your belly is dictating your brain. Your belly size is dictating what's happening in your brain down the road. Okay. Number 6, skin tags, rough skin or acne around the jawline. So early hormonal fallout. So skin tags can be like around your neck usually. Rough skin, that can even be like on your arms. Okay. And then acne around your jawline. Those are early hormonal fallout. And then the last one is high triglycerides with normal cholesterol. One of the first metabolic red flags that doctors overlook is the fact that you have high triglycerides, but your cholesterol is normal. So pay attention to that one, okay? Most primary, this is why systems miss it. To the best of like my understanding or my guess, my research, most primary visits are like 7 to 10 minutes long. There's no time to dig into root causes. That's one of the reasons why when we get on here and we talk about what's going on in your body, it's a root cause conversation. And then when we talk about how to target your supplementation, it's a root cause conversation, right? The standard of care says, this is just standard of care, don't test insulin until glucose is abnormal. This is why you guys are pushing the envelope because you're going in and you're saying, I want a fasting insulin test. And when they don't give it to you, some of you have changed doctors. Some of you have actually gotten them to do it. And some of you are just hearing this for the first time going, oh, I should be asking for a fasting insulin test. Yes. So standard care says don't test insulin, which is a hormone, until glucose is abnormal. Many doctors were never taught that fasting insulin is the earliest marker of metabolic dysfunction. Okay. And insurance doesn't reimburse for prevention. Doesn't reimburse for prevention. They wait until it's a diagnosable disease. I mean, it's really frustrating, right? Like this is dumb. So this is why we have to take it into our own hands and become our own advocate, right? So you can have high insulin and normal blood sugars for years. For years. It's like having a fire behind the wall. By the time you see the smoke, the damage is already done. Now it's still reversible, not according to me, because I'm not a doctor. But seriously, like there are so many good doctors online, like a Dr. Ken Berry, that'll teach you that this is reversible, right? It's a really, really big thing. So you can become your own detective. And that is what we're going to share now, how you can become a good detective. Trouble streaming to Facebook. Don't know why. Interesting. So I'm not sure. Joan says, what was number 4? The screen froze. Let me get that for you. And Georgia, hi, Darlene. Georgia from Darlene. Oh, and then Tony says she's from Georgia. We got all the Georgia people in the house. Okay, so number 4, let me go back. Number 4 was 3 a.m. wake-ups. Your liver is releasing glucose because insulin is not regulating energy at night. So your liver is like dumping glucose into your bloodstream. This is that middle of the night wake up. So you're all of a sudden what happens, just to give you an example of what that looks like, your liver releases the glucose into your bloodstream and your blood sugar like spikes and you go, and you wake up with a start. You're like, and then your cortisol, right? Like your This is on high alert. And this is, people don't understand that. I know it seems like it's this big mystery as to why your morning sugars, your dawn phenomenon exists. Like, why is that? It's just because you still haven't gotten it under control yet, so that your liver is doing what it needs to do before you go to bed. That's why we talk about the liver, because you need your liver to function, especially at night when it's starting, when you need your cells to regenerate at night, and you need your liver to properly detoxify so that you can deal with the middle of the night wake ups and the morning sugars that are still high because nothing was able to finally get accomplished while you were sleeping. Not maybe nothing, but most things were not able to be accomplished. And so you're like, why is that the last thing to get fixed? Why is this so hard? That's what that is. You're trying to you got to get your internal system working. So I will never come to you and talk to you about, let's put a Band-Aid here, and then let's put a Band-Aid here, and then let's put a Band-Aid here. Like, that's superfluous. That doesn't mean anything. You have to get to the root cause system that treats the root cause of what's happening. You are working to get your body to deliver you a different result. If your body is delivering you high sugar in the middle of the night, you want it to deliver you stability in the middle of the night. Do you understand? Like, you want it, if you're having a hard time burning 1 pound of fat, and it's because your insulin is too high and your liver is sluggish, and so therefore you can't burn fat, no fat burning for you if your insulin is high and your liver is sluggish. You want your body to produce a different result. So now you're like, okay, I need you to deliver me some fat loss. Well, then that's why we're always going to target the liver, the gut, and your insulin. It's super, super simple. It's just maybe like we have to undo like some of the ways that we used to think or whatever, because it's, whatever. So Jody, you switched to Instagram. Okay. Yeah. It was being weird over there. Thank you, Jody. Froze on Facebook. Magda says, I saw the sign on StreamYard, and they basically said that maybe it was because, it was a Facebook dealio. They blamed it on Facebook is what they did. Hi, Barb from Ontario. Good to see you. Very good to see you. Okay. So that was number 4. Now let's do some like becoming your own detective. Okay. So number 1, start paying attention to how you feel between meals. Pay attention to how you feel between meals. Do you get shaky, anxious, exhausted? That is your insulin talking to you. Okay. That's your insulin. Notice where you store fat. So people are like, but I don't even know for sure if I am insulin resistant. Well, first of all, trying to go and get the test, most of them won't give it to you. So this is why it's important for you to be your own detective and just to know that these signs, they're for real. Okay. So notice where you store fat. If it's around your midsection, especially hard or bloated, that's a metabolic clue, not just a weight issue. Okay. Ask for a fasting insulin test, not just glucose. If it's above 8 to 10, you are already trending towards resistance. Even better, ask for a HOMA-IR test, which measures insulin and glucose together. HOMA-IR, HOMA-IR. Ask for that test. It'll measure both your insulin and your glucose. All right. Watch your triglyceride to HDL ratio. Okay, this is super important. If your triglycerides are higher than your HDL, that's a quiet red flag. I'm going to repeat that one. If your triglycerides are higher than your HDL, that's a quiet red flag. Okay, track your sleep and your energy. If you are wired at night, but you are tired in the morning, your insulin and your cortisol are out of sync. This is an entire hormonal conversation. It's all about hormones. Okay. But you don't need a medical degree to spot these patterns. You don't. This is just us paying attention to our own body. Remember when we were 13, we knew how to pay attention to our body. We just lost it along the way a little bit. Okay. So you just need awareness. You are the first line of defense. You are. Do not rely on the medical community where their standard care of practice is to wait for something they can diagnose that has a med for it. Okay, don't do that. And here are some tips that you can do to reverse it naturally. So you know that you can support your gut. 70% of insulin sensitivity starts in your gut. Your gut, your gut, your gut. Now your gut, if you have leaky gut, oftentimes that's being created by insulin resistance. So this is all connected. And that's why we have a connectivity conversation on a daily basis. Everything is relying on another piece of the puzzle in order for you to have the picture on the top of the box. So it's like, it's all connected. So do things that are all connected. Don't keep things separated and siloed. That's what they do in the medical system. And it's frustrating. I'm still freezing. What is going on with my technology today, people? I have like 5 bars on my Wi-Fi. I wonder why. Let me see. I'm going to try something. Okay, I'm on data now. I'm on data now on Instagram. Is that better? Because this might be a Wi-Fi issue, not a Facebook issue. Somebody on Instagram, let me know if I am better or the same. Okay, thank you. She says, YouTube is working fine. So then it is maybe it's a meta problem. Now I'm back. Okay, so it's a meta problem. That's interesting, but I am on data there because they were saying YouTube is fine. Jody says you're flopping back and forth. You are very committed, Jody, and I commend you for your commitment to the conversation. Like, what the heck? It keeps pausing. Okay, well, I'm going to keep going because I don't know what else to do. And like she said, YouTube is working fine. And Tony jumped on. Oh, and it is Tony. Oh, yay. Tony, you're so smart. Okay, so the tube. I'm not supposed to say that on TikTok, but the tube. Go to a window. I am by a window, Sue. Thank you for that, though. I'm right by a window. Okay, we're going to keep going. Okay, so Jan, you say you're staying home, but you should be up and about in a few weeks. Okay, Jan, good to know. Okay, so let's just talk a little bit about how you can actually do this, right? So support your gut. 70% of your insulin sensitivity starts in your gut. Support your liver. It's where your insulin is cleared. Okay, that's where your insulin is cleared. You can use targeted supplementation, root cause targeted supplementation. I'll share that with you. But there are other things that you can do in the meantime. You can do things like, we've talked about this before. You know, you can be doing things that help your lymphatic system because your lymphatic system doesn't have a pump like your heart does. So you could be doing, interesting. So are we back up and running on Instagram? People are still there. Wow, this is a rough morning for this. You're watching on Fit. That's good. That's good. We'll just keep doing that then. Yes, I will do that, Deborah. So basically, because we're talking about liver, gut, and insulin, the conversation was pay attention to how you feel in between meals, whether or not you're shaky, anxious, or exhausted. Notice where you're storing your fat. If it's in the belly, that's a major red flag. Ask for a fasting insulin test from your doctor. Watch your triglyceride to HDL ratio. You do not want your triglycerides to be higher than your HDL. And track your energy and your sleep. Because if you are wired at night, but you're tired in the morning, that means that during your sleep time, your insulin and your cortisol are out of sync. So your body is not doing the same thing. It's not doing the right thing to actually clear the insulin out of your liver and out of your body. And that's a really, really important conversation. Okay. So very good. I'm so glad to hear that. So knowing that, then you can do things like dry brushing. Remember, I talked about how I want to give away a dry brush and some magnesium salt baths for the for Total Body Reset new customers in November, because you can be dry brushing up towards your heart and opening up and moving your lymphatic system, getting it to flow. You could be drinking warm lemon water in the morning and getting your liver to start functioning. Especially for people who don't have a gallbladder or have gallstone issues, you could be eating bitters, like anything that's like dandelion greens, etc., because you're trying to create bile. Your bile usually is stored in your gallbladder, but if you've had that removed or if you're having issues and everything is kind of like sluggish, it's kind of like, it's not moving. That means that possibly you're living with a lot of constipation. You're living with just a lot of sluggishness. Your brain fog is probably not super amazing. It's like, so much brain fog. You can't think clearly. And maybe you're feeling like you're just really tired. Like your body is just it's not hitting its mark. And you can tell things are not right. And for sure, you're not burning fat. For sure, your body's like, yeah, no, fat burning switch is turned off because your liver isn't working. So there are things that you can do on a regular basis. You could be drinking dandelion tea, something like that to help your liver, like move, right? And then when I always talk about the total body reset, that happens to be all of it all in one situation. So most of you, not all of you, but a lot of you are already doing the total body reset. And you know what? There's a good, better, best. You don't have to do everything all at once. Now, I'm not going to lie. A lot of you do. At this point, kind of most of you, but you don't have to. You can start just where I started. You do not have to be like, I'm going to fix everything all at once right now. Some of you just want to start with getting your A1C down. You're like, I just need to get my A1C down. I just need to see progress. And I will tell you that when I started supplementing, I was not a supplementer at all. And I started with the trio, these three. And I didn't even know the goodness that they were doing to my body. I just was kind of like crossing my fingers and becoming somebody who took supplements for the first time in my life. I was only ever motivated to take something if I was in pain or if it promised like, like it's going to, like you had basically legalized speed when you could buy Metabolife at the store in Walmart because it was supposed to speed up your metabolism. But anyway, but when I started to do this, and this is the trio, they are 3 sups that have 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. This is where I started. And this is a good place to start because you're bringing down your insulin, your sugars, you're getting your liver to function at a higher level, and you're getting your metabolism to move all by itself. Those 3 all by themselves, that is a good place to start. Okay. But now if you want to add in the gut and the orange pixie stick for the fat burning, you can do that. Okay. So what that means is this is an actual primer, and the primer actually has the 6 different blends in it. So if you don't have a gallbladder, maybe you do have a gallbladder, but you know that you're sluggish, but it could be either or, and you're dealing with, this is where like that, you just live with indigestion. You're taking over-the-counter things to help with your constipation. That impacted waste is not moving through your body. You're feeling super sluggish and like, you just kind of feel, you're tired of that feeling. This is going to help you so much because it is your fermented greens, which is super gentle on your tummy. Your alkaline spices, which is basically helping you to bring down that inflammation in your gut. Your digestive enzymes. I actually will take extra. If you didn't know this already, when you're on my site, for all of you that are already customers, you can go up to the search bar and you can search digestive enzymes if you need extra. And maybe you didn't know this or not, but you could eat a meal like let's say you have a big steak or whatever and some asparagus or something, and you're like, it just kind of felt heavier than you thought maybe it was going to. Grab a couple digestive enzymes even after you've eaten. It's okay. See, your pancreas releases and creates less and less as you go along. That's why your food changes the way that you're eating over time. It's because your body isn't like firing on all cylinders all at the same time. Okay. So the trio, and then if you do the gut reset, the gut like primer, I just put this in cold water, very green tea, turmeric, ginger. And then I just take it like a wellness shot. I saw wellness shots at my husband and I last Friday. We went to a sauna spa. I know it sounds crazy, but it was so freaking cool. It's actually a franchise. And you sit inside this, you sit inside the sauna and you've got all these towels and everything is fresh and clean. It's amazing. And it's a 40-minute session. And then if you want to, you can turn on the TV. The TV's outside of the sauna, of course. You can do whatever. You can turn on YouTube. You could turn on music. You could do whatever. Anyway, but in their refrigerator at the front of the place, they had little shots for wellness. And I thought, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. I turn this into a wellness shot every single morning and I just down it, right? Then it's the probiotic because you have to recalibrate your microbiome. These are 5 live strains. And then this is for the visceral fat, you guys. This is that orange pixie stick that tastes like orange candy. And the results are actually there. MRI result going from bad fatty liver to mild, visceral fat scans. Like this is for real Z. This is not like back in, maybe the 1990s where we didn't have the science. They now have the science. So this was created for sports nutrition line, but what they're doing now is it actually targets that. And I'll tell you, these are the results of those people. And again, like I said, this is a good place to start the trio. These 3, the trio. I can't see. I don't understand. So these 3 are really a good place to start. Because you can bring down your insulin and get your liver to function at a higher level. Okay. And that's where you want to be, because if your insulin is high and your liver is sluggish, you can't burn fat. Right. But those that have done the total, all of them, all 6 of these for the total body reset, that's where the majority of the testimonies come from, where people like, if you want to know whether or not you're losing visceral fat, then my question to you is, are you measuring yourself and are you losing inches underneath your bra, around your waist, around your hips? Because that's how you will know, because you're losing it from within. It's like it's sucking it inside like this. It's like, and this is one of the ways that we know. I always have where's my measuring tape? I usually have a measuring tape. Here it is. Measure yourself. Measure and know what you are under your bust, your waist, and your hips, and then write it down on a little piece of paper, keep it in your bathroom drawer, and then just go on your journey. Give yourself permission for the journey. And do the total, do the TBR, do it for 90 days. Do it for 90 days. And then when you do the next 90 days, just make sure that first 30, you don't take this, because you don't want your body to get used to it. So then only for 1 month, only order 5 of them and not 6. But my point being then that you go on that journey and maybe you'll be like Magda, and after a year, she lost 14 inches. Maybe you'll be like Terry and you lose 50 pounds in 8 months. Maybe you'll be like Claudette and you lose 45 pounds in 5 months. She's 74. She's 74 on her feet still at work. This isn't an age conversation. This isn't about how old are you. This is about how much you are supporting your inside system and having a viewpoint of this is cellular and hormonal, because insulin is a hormone. GLP-1 is a hormone. You have so many hormones in your body, and they just don't tell you that until they come out with a script that has the name attached to it. And you still don't even know that it's a hormone because nobody's telling you that. Your body was made to create it. So I'm just telling you. But there you go. So that's what that is, the total body reset. If that is something that you are looking to start for the holiday season, I cannot recommend it enough. You will holiday differently than you did in previous years. And you can do your own detective work and become your own diagnostic center. You can, so that you can know whether or not your body needs to have a change. And right now, just from a logistics standpoint, now the trio alone would not get you to the point where you could cash in on the customer campaign. However, I don't know why that's not opening up for me. However, when you do the total body reset, the customer campaign says that when you purchase $150 or more 3 months in a row, you get $75 off. And all by itself, you can rinse and repeat that throughout the year, more than once. And there are no restrictions on it. It just has to be $150 or more subtotal, and you have to be a registered customer. You cannot check out as a guest. Those are the 2 requirements. But in January, so if you start now in November and you go November, December, January, in January, they're going to add they're going to take away an extra $50. So you're going to get $125 off your order, and you will have had a full 90 days to experience 90. And then you still have 3 months left on your guarantee. Nobody else is doing that. So just understand that this isn't like, quick, hurry, decide in 2 weeks whether or not you thought this was good. Otherwise, you can't return it. That's not what this is. This is a for real opportunity for you to give yourself permission for a journey. This is a for real, like the testimonies that I get, they don't come from a corporate nothing. They come from you to me. These are your testimonies, just so that you know. But anyway, I will also look at the calendar and look to see when our next 5-day challenge will be. That's going to be in December. I think it's going to be the first week of December. So I will have to look at it and double check my calendar, but I think it's going to be the 2nd through whatever, something like that. And just remember, when you have a free 5-day challenge every single week, every single month that you can tap into, you now have a track to run on. You now have somebody who is going to walk journey with you. And I want you to know that, like, the holidays, don't give up on the holidays. So many of you are already doing the total body reset. And so just keep going and like stay connected. Don't disconnect from the community that will help you walk the journey. Don't do that. Stay connected and give yourself a chance to actually do the holidays just a little differently than maybe you did last year. Maybe there's like less binging. Maybe there's just, maybe there's a little bit more resourcefulness. You've got your carb blocker in your pocket. Maybe you make a different recipe that you bring to people's places. Maybe, like, what are your victories going to look like? What are you going to be proud of that you did when in January, when you look back over right now? Because we're like right in it right now. Everybody's like planning their Thanksgiving stuff now. It's like, it's in our face, right? So just saying, like, you can make different decisions starting right now. So, oh, Tony, this is great. So she says 1 weekend. So she's doing the total body reset. Food noise has quieted down. Energy is slowly improving, practicing patience and allowing myself to reclaim my health back. Love the total body reset. You're all in. Tony, I love that. Thank you for sharing that. So this is the deal. A big piece of this puzzle for you, the reason why this is so important is because who you are down the road, whether it's 1 or 2 years from now or 5 years from now, and you're thanking yourself and you're saying to yourself, I wonder whatever happened to that Kirsten lady. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying that let's pretend you lose contact. We don't have contact anymore or whatever, but you learned how to fish. You learned how to actually assess your body, take back your body and move forward. And you feel like you have a key now, but listen to how that works. So 1 weekend on the total body reset, her food noise has quieted down. Who would like their food noise to quiet down? Her energy is slowly improving. And that's that liver starting to like rise up. Thank the Lord. And I love that you said you're practicing patience. I practiced, and I still do, no shame. I had to have no shame on my decisions. This was a big piece for me, and I still do it today. I just, if I choose something that's different than what I'm normally eating because I want to, like every now and then, whatever, no shame. Absolutely not. That's ridiculous, right? And then allowing yourself to reclaim your health. I love that. I love that, Tony. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, it's a good deal, people. It's a good deal. All right. So tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, be here. What rhymes with here? You're supposed to say be there or be square. Be here or be here. Do not fear. Okay, that was silly, but there you go. All right. So I will see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. If you need anything from me in the meantime, please will you reach out to me? And if you need to go and look at exactly what I just talked about, my first last name, Kirsten Liebelt, C-O-M. Have to be careful. That will get you to where you want to go. That will get you to where you can see exactly what I am talking about. And when you pull that up, it's right here for people who are on Facebook or YouTube. It's super easy for you guys. When you pull that up, you'll see my face just like this. And when you do one little tiny swipe, you'll see the trio is the first button, the total body reset is the bottom button. Okay. The trio is the first button. The total body reset is the bottom button. Okay. And then there are also on that site, there are some free resources for you. So go dig around and see what you can find and grab all the free stuff. Like, don't feel bad about it. Get yourself resourced. It's okay, right? Like, we need to move forward in our health. We need better lab reports. We need less doctor appointments. We need to burn fat. I've lost 3 sizes in my 50s. We need to avoid damaging results of insulin resistance. We need to do a lot of things, okay? But we've been doing this now, the challenge in the Facebook group for 2.5 years. So there you go. There's a little bit of a trick for you. All right. Have the best day ever on the face of the planet. So good to see you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.